Well, hey guys, welcome to Kludgy Tech Time. I'm David, and this is all about the Autel Evo. This is actually the second video in a series of videos that I'm putting together about the Autel Evo. I recently had a chance to be able to spend some time with Jacob from Autel Robotics. If you haven't seen the first video in this, go check out up here or down in the description. There will be a link to the first video. I think you're probably going to want to check that out before this one if you haven't already. There's lots of details that we cover in that one. This is going to be a continuation of that. We are going to go ahead and fly the Evo. Jacob flies around. We talk a whole bunch more about the specs and details of it as he's flying it. There's still a lot of detail in this that was not covered in the first one. You'll be able to see the Evo flying around, and there will be some video in this one directly from the Evo itself. So you'll get to see some footage from the Evo. It will be, because this video right now is being recorded in 1080p, it will be downscaled to this. In a future video, I will be uploading a full 4K 60 FPS that Jacob recorded on there. So that'll be a separate video, but you will see footage from the Evo on this. Okay, so before we dive into the footage with Jacob, where we're seeing the drone flying and you're seeing the footage that was recorded on the Evo, let's talk about some things that we talked about off camera with Jacob. All right, so first off is, where is it going to be sold at? So the first thing is that it is currently only FCC certified. It is not CE certified. So what is that? FCC is the regulatory body here in the United States that governs radio frequencies and electronics and that kind of stuff. And there is certification in the US by the FCC for the Evo. They do not yet have that same certification for CE, which is the regulatory body in Europe. They do not have CE certification for the Evo yet. Sounds like that's something that they are, a path that they're going down, but they do not have that yet. So that is one of the big factors in that it is going to be targeted towards the US audience. So those of you guys outside of the US, I think it's going to be a bit difficult to get your hands on one, especially if you're in a CE country, because I think it's actually probably illegal to sell it into those countries if they don't have that CE certification. I don't know that for sure, but that's my understanding. Evo will be targeted for here in the US, FCC certification. This is where the company is based. This is where their support is at. They are not a global company at this point, so they do not have support staff all over the world. They do not have all the languages in their company, people to support all the languages around the world. And so I think that with this release, it's going to be focused here in the US. Autel, of course, is very famous for their customer service, and they really want to do things right. So they don't want to just, sell something in Europe and then not be able to support them appropriately, have support staff in their time zones and be able to speak their languages. And so they're really trying to do it right for the market that they're selling it. They're trying to service it in the best way that they can. All right, so some of you guys are going to ask, all right, so you're selling it in the US, where can I buy it from? So when it's released, it of course will be available on Autel's website, and it will also be available via their authorized resellers. Some of those examples are Carolina Drones, Best Buy, B&H Photo, and drumroll, Amazon. So Amazon's going to be included in that list, is what I'm being told. So a few more specs that aren't covered in this video or the previous video. So one of the things I asked about was the redundancy that is built into the aircraft. So yes, there are dual IMUs and dual compasses, so there's some redundancy built in to help for safety. In terms of the camera, it will be able to do RAW pictures in addition to JPEGs, but there will not be any sort of a RAW equivalent for videos like D-Log. There will be no extra different color profiles, as I understand it. Like, some of the competitors out there have like Decent-alike and, ProRes, and there's all these other different formats and color profiles and that sort of stuff. The Evo will not have that. There will be raw pictures, so you can take pictures in either RAW or JPEG, but there will not be raw video. Videos will be recorded via the H.264 or the H.265 compression and will be available as either .mov or .mp4 video files. Now, one of the big questions that I asked him was, well, what has changed about the aircraft since CES? So in regards to the hardware that's changed since CES, there's been minor tweaks all the way around. Most of it is stuff that probably, you know, people like you and I probably wouldn't even notice if we saw a picture of one versus the other. There's been minor tweaks all the way around. I think there's probably been minor tweaks around how the gimbal and its functionality. My understanding is that the arms have been lengthened and are a stronger material now. The propellers are a little bit bigger as well and have changed their profile a little bit to help with an efficiency as well as make them quieter. And of course, in terms of the software, there's been tons of updates since CES back in January. The firmware, of course, has been completely changed and updated. Features have been added that just didn't exist at that time. It was just a prototype at CES, and so there was a lot of stuff that just wasn't implemented at that time. All right, so now we're going to move on to continuing the discussion with Jacob and taking the Evo for a flight. So just a little bit of a disclaimer. The video you're going to see in terms of the quality of the video that I record is maybe not the highest quality in terms of the audio and sound. Trying to track the Evo while it's in the air on a little lens and keep it in focus, and actually even just being able to see it once it gets out there quite a ways, and trying to look on the viewfinder of my camera, a bit hard. So anyways, had dust on the lens, I was not pointing in the right direction, there's all kinds of stuff, so just forgive me for that. Just look at it for the content that it really is, to try and learn more about the Evo. And then the other thing that I'll say about the footage that Jacob was able to capture for me and give me from the Evo itself, just keep in mind that this is two dudes standing in a park, flying a drone around, talking, and trying to get a little bit of video. So it's not polished, it's not perfect. It's keep in mind that it's also not the final firmware and it's not the final piece of hardware that they are going in production with as well. So I just want to have you keep that in mind. It's not perfect, but I really appreciate Jacob taking the time and capturing this stuff for you guys. But just keep in mind, two dudes in a park talking, flying around. He wasn't concentrating. So anyways, here goes, and hope you guys enjoy this.
Let's do some flying.
Yeah, should we fly?
Yeah, let's do some flying.
It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Let's do it. As you can see, it's really stable in the air.
Yeah, and pretty dang quiet too. So what has changed about it since CES? What do we...
So the minor adjustments that we've been making, we want to make it quieter. So we've been adjusting the props a little bit so we can make sure that it's nice and quiet. We've been working on the battery as well, see if we can't get that battery life extended a little bit as well. Other than that though, just kind of firmware tweaks, making sure that everything works properly, making sure that all of the autonomous modes are working as they should.
I think I'd read somewhere that maybe the arms were extended a little bit and maybe a little bit bigger props.
A little bit bigger. Also, the arms are made out of a stronger material than they were at CS as well.
Okay.
So it's a slightly stronger material. It's going to be a lot sturdier in the air as well because of that.
Now, a lot of people, of course, are going to ask, well, you showed a great aircraft at CES.
Right.
What's taking so long?
Yes, I totally understand. CES is mostly just to showcase new products that are coming out. had we known the amount of anticipation, we probably would have been more forthcoming with saying like, hey, this is technically just a prototype right now.
Right.
You know, it's still in development, things like that. You know, but we're just so ecstatic with the amount of feedback we've gotten and the desire for this aircraft.
Yeah. Yep. So it is super quiet, actually. I mean,
It's really nice. Here, let me find something to do some obstacle avoidance on. So I can, if I'm gonna go at that tree right there,
and it just automatically brakes.
I am currently pushing full stick forward, and it will not move.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
Okay. And if you fly it back at us, will it
It
go
should.
around us?
No, because we're not doing dynamic track.
Okay.
The obstacle avoidance will just stop. But again, full stick forward.
Okay. And so in under normal circumstances, it's just the obstacle avoidance where it's just going to stop.
Correct.
But if you put it in a special dynamic tracking mode, then it will actually
track with you and
track
follow
with
you.
you
Yep,
and follow
exactly.
you, and it will avoid objects.
Yes.
Okay.
So try and keep it in frame.
Can we go up a little bit?
Absolutely.
Or
I'll scoot them out a little bit so you can see it.
oh, where'd it go? Lost it. Got a small lens on.
Right.
You know what? Let
Here,
me.
I'll go down a little bit.
Okay. Let me. Do you mind if I change lenses real quick?
Not at all. We actually did a demo for local sheriff's department, and there happened to be like 30 mile an hour gusts, and it was, I mean, it was kind of sideways because of the wind, but it was stable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. It's really, I mean, plus it's so responsive too. I mean, it's just so quick, so nimble. So I'll make sure it's trying to make sure it sees anything.
Yeah. Yeah, feel free to move it around a little bit now. Now, in terms of waypoints, is there? Do you select a certain like points on the screen? Is that how it works?
Yeah. So you can either. There's also offline waypoint mission. So basically, it'll say, "Here, this is the point I want to take off from." It'll give you like a blue circle.
Okay.
Like a safety circle, basically like, hey, we know that all these points will work and be able to come home safely.
Okay.
Then you can create your waypoints that way as well. But yeah, you could do it manually while you're in the air, not a problem.
Okay. But is it something while you're on the ground you can press dots on the screen and say, okay, I want to go here and select an altitude for that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do altitudes for each individual point, as well as, I believe, camera angle.
Okay. And then is that something that you can save those waypoints so that maybe a month from now I can go run the same mission again?
Yep.
I can see and surveying and construction and
huge.
a lot of different places.
Absolutely.
That's huge,
That's
deal,
massive.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like how quiet it is for the size. There's smaller ones out that are louder.
Right, I know.
And it attracts attention. And
it does.
I think most people want to try and avoid the attention as much as possible.
Yeah,
right?
as much as we all enjoy the sound of angry bees, the quieter the better.
Yeah.
Let me go up a little bit. Some more out there.
Now, micro SD card,
Yep.
is that right?
Yep, 128 gigs.
128 gigs is the max, okay. Is there a certain bit rate that it records the video
It's
at?
100.
100 megabits,
Yep,
okay.
100 megabits.
Nice. Any chance I could throw one of my micro SD cards in and you could record, or?
Sure. I think we can do that.
That's the auto land feature, right?
That it is. As we cut the grass.
Yeah, this is one of my complaints with one of your competitors. I don't want to talk about your competitors.
Right,
but,
no, you're good.
Yeah, I'm not a skinny dude, and I don't have fingernails.
I've got fat fingers, yeah.
And trying to get these cards out, I don't know if the engineers.
I don't know if they have like child fingers or what, but yeah, it is so much fun.
So does the beeping mean that it's recording?
Nope, that is the obstacle avoidance.
Ah, okay.
So that it'll pick up anything within 40 meters, actually.
40 meters, okay.
Mm-hmm. Let's get some good. Let's see if we can get some good photos.
Where'd they go? There it is.
Grab a little bit more.
How far out?
We are 128 meters currently, only 40 meters up.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what's over here.
Switch this and look over your shoulder if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
Now, do you know the actual like specifications of the screen on there?
It's a 3.3-inch OLED screen. It is, I believe, 333 nits.
333 nits.
I believe, yes.
Do you know how that is in comparison to, say, like an iPhone or your standard Samsung?
I don't know off the top of my head,
Okay.
to be entirely honest.
I can look that up later. But do you find that it's brighter
Oh yeah.
than?
I mean, like it's, even in direct sunlight, I can still see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Is there like a map view mode or a compass view mode or anything like that on the screen?
On the app itself.
On the app
On
itself?
the app itself,
Okay.
yeah, you can switch between map and camera view.
Okay. Geese don't decide to take it into the river.
Right, oh, I know, yeah. So I keep looking at them, I'm like, let's make sure you're not anywhere close to me.
Then you have the camera on automatic mode, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, right now, because we're pointing at the sun, the shutter's at 1/640.
Yeah.
It's
Now
like, what are you doing?
that actually leads me to another question: is the camera, is it threaded? The lens threaded so you can put ND filters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That it is.
Of course, we got trains going on.
Right,
We got a
got planes.
jetliner.
Right. Yeah. I'm making sure I'm not
Traffic.
in their airspace.
Yeah. Wow, that plane's plenty far up.
Yeah. So that beeping is it's actually picking up on those trees.
Wow, it's picking up on the trees across the sidewalk.
Yep. Yeah. This,
Oh, okay.
This guy right over here.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Computer vision on it is really good.
Now, is that something that you guys built in-house or completely?
Yep.
I think I'd heard somebody say maybe that you licensed some technology from Intel or something for some of the...
As far as I know, all of it was done in-house.
Okay.
Fine, I will go up more so we stop beeping.
Are you able to turn that beeping off?
Yeah, if you turn the obstacle avoidance off,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yes, you can turn that off.
But the good thing is it's not a obtrusive, like
Absolutely.
a bomb's gonna
It's
go
pretty
off.
calm, yeah. It's kind of a nice warning, like, hey, just want to let you know there's something that may be in the way.
Yeah, some of them out there sounds like you're afraid that everybody's gonna think you have a bomb.
Right, there's a
or
raid or something, yeah. I promise it's just a drone.
Yeah.
So it's going to go up to the return to home height so it knows that it can go over everything.
And is that something that you can adjust, right?
Absolutely.
To be able to
Yes,
fit the environment you're in?
absolutely, yeah. So that delay right there was it using the computer vision to double check to make sure that that was a safe area to land. Battery's starting to go on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you can record and take pictures at the same time.
Correct, yeah.
What about RAW pictures?
Yep,
You can do JPEG and RAW.
Yep, yeah.
And then what about for video? Is there the equivalent of RAW, like D-Log or?
I'm not sure. I can double check and get that
Okay.
info to you, yeah.
Do you know what codec it records in? Is it H.264 or?
I want to say yes. Actually, the guy with me is my head firmware tech,
Okay.
so I can ask him when I see him and I can text
Okay.
you.
Yep. And then now, is there, in terms of the speed settings, are there multiple different speed settings for, like, so you can maybe set it to go slow,
Yes.
depending
Yeah.
on your environment?
Absolutely.
And so
I
on?
believe you can set it to go 11, 22, and 33 miles per hour.
Okay. And then 45 for
Is unlimited.
is
yeah.
unlimited. Okay.
Yeah.
And then does it use both GPS and GLONASS for its positioning system?
Just GPS, I believe.
Just GPS.
I will double check that for you though.
Okay. And geofencing. Now, it's not using Wi-Fi for its
Correct.
connection, right? It's
Correct.
more just a standard radio
Yep.
technology, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So do you feel like that's probably less inclined to be get interference in it?
Yeah.
generally a stronger signal, isn't it?
Exactly.
More
yeah.
robust.
Pretty much, which is why we went with the radio over the Wi-Fi. It's just a stronger signal.
Right.
And then combined with the dual band, it makes it, you can't necessarily do that
Yep.
with Wi-Fi as well.
Yep. In terms of going with this kind of form factor over, say, the X-Star form factor,
Sure.
is there any reasoning behind that, technical, or just what the market's looking for? Or
We felt that we could deliver the same product of the X-Star or the same power in a smaller package, and we felt that smaller, more portable is always going to be beneficial. The X-Star is nice and it's really sturdy. It's a stable craft in the air, which is awesome. But instead of having to carry on that giant case all the time, or a backpack that's weighing you down, it's a lot easier where you can carry, like when you can literally just take the drone and throw it in a backpack and be good to go. It's a lot easier. So if we can deliver that same move forward with technology and drive the industry forward in a smaller aircraft, that's definitely something we want to do.
Cool. And then, do you know how many batteries will be shipping with it? Will it just come with a single battery, or do you know if there will be?
I believe they're still working on some packaging, so different packages potentially to buy from. I believe the standard package will come with just one battery.
Right. Okay.
I believe as of right now, I think the standard package will be one battery, 3 pairs of props, your micro USB, your charger, all the bells and whistles that you would normally come with it.
Okay.
And then I know that we're working on some other packages as well.
Do you know if you can charge the battery in the aircraft itself, or does it have to? You have to charge it in a separate?
You physically have to charge it in a separate. I can show you. So the charger itself is actually just going to plug into these right here.
Right. Yep.
I can show you if that's on camera.
Yeah.
So it's going to plug into these right here. So you can't charge it in the aircraft, unfortunately. But it is a super easy, super simple, super easy.
That's always nice to have when it can charge in the aircraft, because then if you're just driving, you use up your battery in one location, you go into the next one, you already got a charger in your car, right?
Yeah.
So just being able to plug it in
Absolutely.
without having to buy a separate extra charger or something like
Right.
that. Do you know will an SDK be released at some point?
Yes.
So third-party development can be done?
As of right now, I believe the plan is to have the SDK come out at the same time.
At the same time, okay. All right, well, Jacob, thank you very much for taking the time to come meet me. I really want to thank him for coming and meeting me, because he came out of his way to come and do this for me, to be able to share the Evo and all the details that are publicly available with you guys. So really, thank you very much. I can't wait to get my hands on one for real and be able to fly it and test it out and do all kinds of fun things. It's looks like a lot of fun and a great piece of technology. So
thank you very much.
Thanks for bringing it and
pleasure.
showing me,
Yeah,
and enjoy your time here.
I will. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, man.
Of course.
Appreciate it. Hey guys, well, thanks for watching this. Hope you really enjoyed this. Really thank Jacob for taking the time to come and meet with me and answer a whole bunch of questions, pass along a whole lot of detail that I think you guys are really looking for. So hats off to Jacob. If he wasn't 100% sure the answer, he would let me know that, and he followed up with an answer for every single question I asked. So I really appreciate that. Hope I answered most of the questions you guys had between this video and the previous video. Again, if you haven't seen the previous video, go check it out in the description below. There will be at least one more video in this kind of series about the Autel Evo. That next video I'm going to upload is going to be in 4K, 60 frames per second. That's what the footage was that was captured from the Evo, but this video is only 1080p 30. So keep that also in mind, that the video that you saw from the Evo itself was downscaled 1080p 30 frames per second, but was originally recorded at 4K 60 frames per second. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I would love for you guys to be a part of this channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell next to it so that you're notified when a new video comes out. We got lots more. We got technology details, we have tutorials, we have reviews, we got drone stuff, we got other outside non-drone stuff coming as well. So hope you guys are having a great day. Hit those buttons down below, leave me content. What do you guys want to see? What questions didn't I answer? And we'll catch you on another one soon. All right, ciao. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and leave me a comment. What else do you want to see? All right, thanks guys, see ya.